be earth on one side. Oh, we're in the draft.
You're right out of time.
Wait a second. There's going to be water, and it's actually, earth and then water. You're right? There's no beach. It's just water, squares. Right. Lion is sitting on the shore. A shark is on the water, and now there has been a video on YouTube somewhere where a shark jumps. It has been proven that sharks can jump. I think there's one or two recorded jumps. So this one shark that can jump, he comes up, he has like this long distance of the entire ocean to swim real hard, and then he jumps up and he grabs the lion. And he kills the lion. Obviously, the shark will die afterwards because he's on land now.
What are you talking about? This is the ramblings of a mad woman. Okay. No. So, in short, you think that the shark would win and then die slowly after?
Yes.
After the lion attack.
Because he'll maim the lion so much that the lion won't be able to live, and maybe they'll die slowly next to each other. That's depending on how much of a flesh wound it is or not. But he won't be able to survive.
Lost your mind. You have legitimately gone insane. Waga, your thoughts?
That's pretty dark to begin with. I mean,
welcome to DreamLeague.
All right then.
All right, there you go.
Right off the bat, I would say that the lion would win on land.
Of course.
I'm gonna go for the easy way out. In Shiver's scenario, I think anything could happen.
But the lion would win if it's only on land, obviously, because then the shark can't move.
Even if the shark jumps out, it's not going to be like going at such a velocity.
Flop. Look, the lion is a male. Are we talking male or female lion? I think the pictures
of course a lioness. Those are the hunters.
No, but the pictures of a male lion.
Okay,
he lost.
We definitely need to move on. Let's talk about
the draft.
Some traps here.
Go on to the draft.
What do we got here, folks?
We have a ban of Chen and Io.
Ooh.
And we have an Enchantress and a Lone Druid ban as well. And then we have and then we the picks. I don't need to translate the picks for you.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter and OD. Beautiful
I really like
stuff.
that.
Now, why is that? Is Bounty Hunter a big pick these days?
I mean, Bounty Hunter is really strong. I think he's good. And the thing is, he can upset one lane. So if you have any lane where it could be a wash or one guy should not win it, then you can just have Bounty Hunter run in there. If you start out with sentries, I mean, there's not many counters. Say the Bounty Hunter buys Orb of Venom, Tangle, sentries. Wow, what every bounty ever builds.
Yeah.
And then you go mid. What does the enemy do to counter the Bounty Hunter coming to gank you? You can put down a sentry so you see him, but then he's gonna have 2 sentries to deward you twice. So you're not gonna be able to see the Bounty Hunter. And that way you can just pester one lane, which is all he really needs to do. Get some bounty runes to get the experience. I really think when they added bounty runes, Bounty Hunter became more legit. It's funny how it works.
Well, that's why they named them bounty runes, right? I mean, next rune's gonna be the
TA runes.
The TA rune.
Yeah, Templar rune.
God, please.
So
no.
Finem is banning all the nature heroes with Enchantress and Lone Druid and Nature's Prophet.
Yep.
But they have picked up Earth Spirit, and as I say, Spartan is actually their Earth Spirit player, and he plays it super aggressive. So if you're thinking there's going to be Bounty Hunter in the mid lane to harass the Invoker, there's also going to be an Earth Spirit in the mid lane to harass back.
Yeah, if he can connect with a roll at the right time, I mean, 80% slow is a lot, and he's probably also going to start with Orb of Venom. So you have to be careful going for runes when you have both these heroes who could really hunt down the mid heroes. That's where I think Invoker could have a little advantage when he gets to Forge Spirits. Because I can only assume he's going to play the Exort Invoker. Quaswex is not really played much at all by anyone right now. It's done, but not much. And I think for good reason. Exort just farms so much faster.
Yeah, this is a pretty try-hard build so far. We've got Invoker, Earth Spirit, and OD.
Yeah, they ban out the Beastmaster as well, so he's not going to be joining us. And the screen's kind of far away, but I think they banned Broodmother.
They did ban Broodmother, yes.
Yeah, I need to get the context.
It's the long distance view here.
No, they banned Broodmother. Indeed, as third ban there, and it was Vega that banned out, so they don't want
interesting
Finem to play that.
Now I didn't mention this, but I really do want to see. Oh wait, I think I did mention this. Mag on the Broodmother.
Yeah.
I mean, he single-handedly won ESL New York, which was one.
I do believe he had a few teammates.
No, single-handedly. I mean, if I remember correctly, they all disconnected. And it was one Broodmother, but no. I mean, his Broodmother is incredible. Yeah. And I really wanted to see it this tournament, so I'm surprised they banned it out, but interesting stuff.
Yeah. And
well, there's a lot of offlaners that are getting removed, like Beastmaster, Nature's Prophet, Enchantress if you see it as offlaner, Lone Druid if you see it as an offlaner. We have Void, and there's the Darkseer.
That's why they grab it now immediately, because there's so many heroes already removed. They need to grab something now. And I wouldn't be surprised to see at Finem also grabbing their offlane hero right away. You could, I mean, you could do a dual lane even. If you don't want to go for the mid harass with the ES, you can dual lane with him on the bottom lane. But it depends what's going to be the safe lane carry for Vega Squadron, because it could be the OD.
Yeah.
And then you don't really want to be aggressive and try to harass that lane, because you might as well die to it. He's very hard to bring down. for a safe lane hero. I mean, he has plenty of HP, and the W just saves him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, any predictions for the next pick here?
Well, at Finem, in terms of offlane heroes, they actually mostly play Nature's Prophet and Beastmaster, and I'm very surprised that they banned it out themselves.
Yeah, I guess they're just respecting it a lot that they couldn't get the pick on it. But, I mean, the Nature's Prophet, they could maybe have left out, but I'm not sure. Oracle, not going to go for the offlaner here. So, that's
What do you feel about that support combination, Earth Spirit, Oracle?
I mean, there is some synergy between it, but it's not... It's a weird combo. Oracle is just great. I think it's just purely a reactive pick to Darkseer, to be fair with you. Because Iron Shell gets removed by the Q, so he just cannot offlane against it. So Darkseer's already now forced to go into jungle.
Yeah.
And that means maybe they will use the Bounty Hunter to get experience down on bottom lane now, or on the offlane. But this is just a reactive pick, I feel. It's not something they prepared. They're just like, okay, if we leave in Darkseer and they pick it, then we can counter it with Oracle.
Wow.
Nothing other than that.
I've actually never even thought about that. That's genius. Purge off the ball?
Dude, the best part about it, you can just use it on your ally. So you use it on the farmer, and he can walk in to stand exactly where he needs to purge off the creeps.
You're blowing my mind here,
I purge off multiple Iron Shells at the same time as well.
You do.
Oh, Ursa Bear. I love that combo. Darkseer, Ursa. Just put the ball on, give him the haste, and it's just a brutality.
Surged Ursa is pretty nasty. I wonder what they're going to lane with it, though. That's obviously going to be their last pick later, but you need something that has good disable on the lane. I mean, maybe even something like a Shadow Shaman. I remember this team that used to be... Yeah, Rubik could be great here as well.
It's going to be a solo support, right? And I think Shadow Shaman is kind of squishy. It also depends, like, which offlane is still in the pool.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, they could also just go for the Lion. We talked about it earlier how great of a hero he is. But I think Rasta is also undervalued. He's so strong ever since they buffed Shackle to deal better damage. It's a great level 1 skill now as well.
Some players like Owie really can rock a good Rasta. I mean, make just stuff all over the place.
Yeah, I haven't seen people play it that much, but it's an amazing hero to watch.
Pretty darn good. All right, well, I have to agree with you. I mean, Vega is really lacking in some good stuns.
Well... it's also one more thing for them. They have Bounty Hunter, and the track can be removed by the Oracle as well. When he has max level on the Q, it's 6-second cooldown, so you can quite quickly get rid of the tracks and just, if you need to smoke up, move somewhere. So I hate playing Bounty Hunter against heroes like Abaddon or Oracle for this reason.
I think you're the first analyst I've ever talked to that actually knows about Oracle. I mean, you like are actually
he has
giving
so long
things.
Skills, you know,
this
no one reads
incredible.
it. It's the same for ES. No one ever read his skills either, but we've seen him so much now. We can kind of guess his skills, you know.
That should be your thing, man. Put that like I know about Oracle.
I've read his skill set.
Wow.
Put it in your Twitter header.
Actually, it's because of you know, I only know about this hero because of this one American player that spams it. He has a Korean name and he's amazing at Oracle. Shout out to him. He stole a lot of my MMR when I went to NA.
Great job, Korean player.
Great
Korean
job,
name, American player.
But I think Sven here makes a lot of sense, and it's really strong. You have a stun now. Ursa, though, probably going to go for the Aghanims at one point in this game, and then he can remove even a stun like the Stormbolt after it lands. Or if you really want to, you could block the damage by using first. But people, I mean, max Stormbolt, you just spit one level.
If we go for the knowledge of that ad, Finem wants to end early.
Right.
What do you feel about their lineup? How does it fit into that?
I mean, Sven is great for 5-manning, and they have Quas Exhort possibility from Invoker, so they could have tons of armor with a Warcry. You have ES for the team fighting, you have a great support in Oracle, and Invoker can definitely help with the high ground push, but they need something that adds to the push even more in their last hero. Like, they definitely do. If they don't add any more power to it, then it's going to be a bit hard. So we'll see what the offlaner hero they grab later is going to be. Tide was banned out from Vega Squadron, so denying some more of the team fights from Ad Finem.
And another offlaner.
Yeah. There's also Disruptor being banned out here. That could be a dangerous hero. Ursa Disruptor lane.
Yeah.
You cannot get away from it.
How do you feel Clockwork is fitting into the current patch? Because we don't see him that often anymore. Is he just fallen off?
I just think there's too many heroes that you don't want to be stuck with.
Okay,
to really answer you, I think Ursa, OD, I mean, Sven, a lot of the currently popular heroes just destroy you if you lock yourself in a little cage with them. You're gonna die in that.
Fair enough.
Absolutely.
But he can have a positive impact. I just never see it played anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, even in pubs, even in competitive, he's not played at all. And maybe he can be used, but I don't see how.
I don't want to be this guy, but I actually think Shaman would be great for this team. But Crystal, you know, it would be better with CM. Yeah. Great hero. Now, a lot of synergy there, I think. I mean, everybody on this team kind of needs some mana.
They got so much mana for their team now, OD and CM.
Oh, yeah.
They're never going to run out. And Weaver off lane. Oh, that's a great hero against Ursa. I like this draft. Yeah. It's going to be pretty hard for him to kill Weaver as well. They only have Frostbite, really, to stun. Then they have the Imprisonment, but that's not
You don't want to use that
enough.
ever on Weaver, really.
Yeah, so I think that Finem have a slight advantage in this draft, in my opinion, but we'll see if they can play it out as well.
One mention still before we go into the actual game. We are waiting for a patch before the ticket gets to be into the actual game, but we have tried to make sure that you can still watch in the in-game client if you want to. If you want to check out how you can do that, make sure to check the tweets of @DreamLeague, because that's where we'll put the information of how you can watch inside the game client, so make sure to check that out. You say that Vega's going to win?
No, I think Finem is going to win.
Sorry, Finem is going to win?
Yes.
You say that?
I like Finem's draft.
Finem. Let's see if our casters agree. It is time for our first game here with Finem taking on Vega Squadron by OD Pixel and Draskell.
Indeed, and welcome over to the casting desk. I'm OD Pixel, I'm here with Draskell and Andy. We're ready to get ourselves done with another season of Dream League. We're in this straight off with a game that I don't think this is going to fail to give us a lot of action. It's Finem versus Vega, and there's a lot of flashy heroes and a lot of go from both teams' drafts.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it previously before we came over here to start casting, is that Finem typically ends their games at least in under 30 minutes.
Yes.
And I was thinking to myself, well, there's not really a lot of heroes left in the pool, as I think 6 bans in a row went to offlane bans.
All the offlane.
Yeah, there's like Furion actually, interestingly enough, made it to the second pick phase before he was banned at, which I thought was kind of crazy, but either way, I do like their lineup as well, as Waga was also saying, is Weaver is a fantastic pick against the cores that Vega actually do have, and they really just don't have a lot of lockdown. I mean, you have a Frostbite, and that's it. Like, you actually just have a Frostbite for a Weaver. So I do think that this pace for Finem might not be super fast, probably a little bit slower than what they're used to. But the nice thing about Weaver is that since you have Shukuchi, you can constantly go like TP react to fights and stuff. So I really do enjoy the pick quite a lot. I think Vega's lineup is going to be heavily dependent on what the Bounty Hunter can actually get done, because they opened OD Bounty. So instantly, I'm thinking to myself with the 2 bans, because I think Ench and Chen were both banned in the first 2, they just want to make sure that there's not going to be anything like an Enigma or like a super greedy pick coming out from Finem. But either way, good luck, have funs come out, and first game of the Dream League here, Season 5 underway.
Absolutely, and kind of going more focused on the laning situation between both of the sides. Obviously, Vega, again, that team, we've heard that Finem want to win the game early. We know that Vega, they're very good at doing that themselves. Do you think there's going to be anyone that's going to be a clear winner over the first kind of 10 minutes of laning?
Well, I think that Finem actually have an easier time laning, because really all they have to do is just have the Earth Spirit kind of scouting out lanes. You know, I don't think they're necessarily going to get any big kills, because killing OD is still fairly difficult. He's got high armor, a decent amount of base health, and then obviously in the safe lane you have a Sven and an Oracle, which we've already talked about on the panel at length about how Oracle is really good against Darkseer. So I think it's just going to be positioning, you know, mainly what can the Bounty Hunter get, and in that sense, I feel like Finem just have a bit of an easier time. Like, they're not pressured to get anything out of the lanes in terms of kills, where I feel like Solo is going to have to try to do something, like snipe the courier.
He's trying that.
I mean, pressure a lane. I mean, it's super obvious, though. You can see the courier's just sitting on the high ground. They're not going to move it.
Yeah, indeed, it's, as you said, a lot of eyes on the Solo's bounty hunter, but of course Solo, we'd imagine he's going to be the man to step it up. He has he's had a very good performances recently. He always manages to find the farm, and now in this hero he's going to be able to help this team as a whole find that farm if he gets a decent timing on that track level. This Darkseer, of course, we talked about it time and time again. They talked about it in the pre-game. Oracle, Darkseer, not the great lane for Darkseer. Talking about not a great lane, top lane already. Ursa getting forced back there as the Weaver Earth Spirit combination comes through. But yeah, this bottom lane Darkseer, is he going to find the farm against these two? And well, with this Invis Iron Shell, they might even just find themselves a kill. I mean, he turns around, gets this, the trap off there with the Oracle, but it's not going to be enough for them to chase down and kill him.
That's still big, though. I mean,
he's got to be very scared of this.
It's a huge amount of damage that was dealt. He didn't come to lane with a salve, so if he is going to get one, he's going to need a salve from the Sven. and that already puts them kind of far behind. So in terms of the safe lane pressure, both teams seem to be doing a very good job. The Crystal Maiden Ursa, there's not really a whole lot you can do against an Earth Spirit Weaver. You have pretty much 0 kill potential unless they're tower diving you. And other than that, I mean, the Weaver is just going to farm.
Indeed, the pressure being kept on the bottom. We'll see what Pash can do in terms of CS, as you said, at the moment. He's feeling it a little bit. He's 5 at this point, but you look over to the Weaver in the lane as well, and 5 for 3. Finem certainly finding a stronger combination of the two. And we'll see how that does continue. And indeed, what the game plan is going to be from this Weaver. I mean, to this Weaver and Earth Spirit, at what point does the Earth Spirit leave the Weaver and start to rotate around the map?
I don't think he much has to.
Okay.
I think this is probably one of the few games where we're not going to see as much Earth Spirit rotation, but middle lane.
Yeah, indeed. The setup there in solo. He's got himself a very nice double damage rune, and that. Oh, the Fairy Fire. Fantastic there for the Invoker. He's going to be glad that he brought that one to lane, and solo a bit miffed there because he was that close to getting himself first blood.
Solo.
Oh, hello. The turnaround indeed. Sunstrike gets laid down. It's going to be whiffed, but it doesn't matter to get the right click through. That's going to be your first blood there to Finem, and obviously nicely going to go the way of the mid laner. Invoker going to be very happy with that turn of events, especially after Vega were the ones to try and kick it off there in the mid lane.
You know, that kill should have actually been a lot easier. He had Invoke up the whole time. He could have just cold snapped the bounty when he was walking away, and he probably would have died like a lot easier than that. But still, getting the kill on the board, Finem here in the early game, doing quite well. But again, I think the Earth Spirit is going to play much more reactionary role, just trying to find out where the bounty is. Because if the bounty is trying to camp a lane, then you need to be there. Because no matter what, the Weaver is going to be able to do what he wants. I think the only reason that Finem wanted to put the Earth Spirit in the off lane with the Weaver is to make sure that the Crystal Maiden had to stay in lane so that the Ursa would continue to farm. Because if the Crystal Maiden's not there, obviously she's going to be jungling. But if you want to try to prevent the other team from being greedy, you just straight up pressure the lane by having another hero there.
What I'm going to be interested to see from Finem, obviously a team that we ourselves haven't had the chance of seeing a lot of, is what the Sven's game plan is in terms of items, because we seem to see recently a lot of different scenes going for a lot of different builds on this hero. What do you think the build is going to be for a team like Finem that want to kick it off nice and early?
I wouldn't be surprised to see him do like the same old max cleave. He's already got 2 points into it right now. I mean, if I'm Finem, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, maybe our comfort zone is winning the game by like 20 or 30 minutes, but our lineup allows us to go much later. We essentially have a tri-core.
Top lane here, with Spartan tried to block up Babadook, and they're actually going to drop the Sunstrike here, bringing the Ursa incredibly low, but he just turns, he punches, he'll take the kill onto Earth Spirit, does end up losing his life. Now Skylark, looking towards Sherman the Slayer, and in fact, he's going to be frostbitten up, and that is a free kill there for the CM. Bit of a whiff there from Weaver, and meanwhile, the Oracle actually getting the kill onto the YOLO Baggins on the Darks here. So across the map, a lot of action, and it's not stopped yet. Fairy Fire comes through. Solo, getting beat down by Spartan, rolling into position just in time to save the Oracle. It's 4-2 at the moment, and Finem are certainly finding the action, and they're coming out on top.
This is a very scrappy game. The Weaver definitely should not have died, by the way. He had a 7-charge stick when he got frostbitten. I think he just wasn't expecting the CM to get that bite off, and just, you know, getting cut off guard could be the end of you, which is a little bit unfortunate. But like you were saying, Finem's still doing well. The only matchup that's not going favorably for them is mid.
Yes.
And the
I guess that's expected, though.
Well, yeah, kind of. Especially since the Bounty Hunter's been making rotations to the lane pretty frequently. Not really too surprising. It's like Solo might go for a Centaur snipe here. He's feeling a little frisky, maybe not.
Will he do it? Let's see. Let's see.
It's kind of hard, because Invoker actually hits pretty damn hard.
He wants to do something.
Yeah, he's just soaking the XP for now.
Alright, it's level 3 at the moment, so 5 minutes in.
Oh, they're going to kill him.
Ooh, okay, yeah, with, well, Shoma moving in on the CM, and hello. There's your Invoker, popping just like that, and as we said, Finem were finding the favorable trades, but that's the exact kind of pickoffs that's going to really put Vega back in the driving seat.
Yeah, the faster Solo gets level 6 too, the better off you're going to be. The one nice thing about having track with cores like OD and Ursa is that both of them are very right-click dependent, so having the bonus movement speed from track allows you to stay on target a lot better. And they also have Surge to supplement that movement speed just a little bit more in team fights. So without having Disable, they do have a lot of mobility, which is going to be really important for them.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially if, I imagine, will the OD go for the drums build this game, so you've got more of that chase down?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah. That's going to be really nice for these early fights. 6 minutes in, how's the Invoker looking? Looks like he is, of course, going to go for that Midas. He is a fair way off it, just 100 into the recipe. And bottom lane, the Shuriken, well, the Warcry armor's not going to save you there, Sven. And that is a big kill again for this Bounty Hunter. And again, Vega aren't done. They're moving forward. Maybe next time we'll be able to hold Solo back there so he can't dive the tower. But losing the Sven to the bounty like that, and we talked about Solo's game plan earlier and how he steps it up. He has died twice, but he's finding the levels and he's finding the key pickoffs.
A bounty is one of those heroes where you kind of have to expect to get picked off a couple of times during the early game because you're the only one on the team who can really get information. So like you're walking around, you're trying to find out where the roaming is coming from, like if Spartan's going to be counter ganking and such. It's a very dangerous role to play, especially when a team is prepared for it, as are at Finem, or at least they have been for the first 6-7 minutes of the game. But I still feel like Vega are okay. Like their Ursa's pretty much free farming now. He's tied with the Sven in terms of overall CS.
Look at this movement as well for Solo and Sherman. They're hiding in the tree line. Now they come through. They look for the Oracle first. They'll get him. Maybe next time, unable to keep himself alive there with the spells in the one. He'll throw down the Stormhammer onto the Darkseer. And in fact, be the Earthspirit coming through for rotation, but he misses where he rolls in. Solo will be able to get himself out of there. In fact, he's been defensively Astral, and now the turnaround. They've dropped the wall. That does that manage to get the kill onto the Sven? Sherman looks for the TP out, isn't going to make it. So it's a 2-for-1 at the moment. Scarlet will time-lapse himself back out of that one. They do manage to take the kill on the CM, but again, losing the Sven in the safe lane. Spartan just enough mana to roll himself out there before the intelligence was about to be stolen. Now 5 for 6, 7.5 minutes in. It feels close on the scoreboard, but as you said, Vega just making a little bit better kind of use of the lanes here as they are top 3 on the net worth.
The other thing too is because they have an Ursa, it means that right now, if they want to, they can even go for a Roshan sneak. Like this Ursa's almost level 8, and it's 8 minutes in. He's got the Mask of Madness completed. He has Enrage available. I think that Vega just want to play hyper aggressive because obviously they have the Bounty Hunter, so they have that scouting information. They have a deep ward now into Ad Finem's woods, so they should be able to see most things coming as long as they don't go for a smoke. It just means that if they get their hands on Roshan and they're able to continually apply this heavy pressure to Ad Finem during the early game, then it's going to be a while before that Weaver is going to start to be like really dangerous. He has that awkward timing in the mid game where he just doesn't have enough items to really do much. So
obviously they've spotted this out, but the question is, can they do anything about it? They're going to try to. Sunstrike and Earthspirit rolling straight into the Earth. The Stormhammer as well. He's going to go with the God Strike. Can they bring down the Earth? No. You're going to be able to turn around. They take down 2. Shoma with a double kill as he comes in with a huge ultimate, and Vega, well, off the back of that, there's no way that Adfinem are going to be able to stop them from doing Roshan. They continue with that, and that is pretty much one of the worst ways that Roche fight could have gone for the side of Adfinem.
I think it was about the worst, actually. Yep. It seemed like not everyone was exactly where they wanted to be. Like throwing out the Sunstrike from the Invoker is fine and whatnot, but it didn't really seem like everyone else was prepared to commit to that. And you saw Vega, they were there in full force. Like they had 5 heroes. They know, okay, we need to get this Roshan. Then we start pressuring some tier 1s. We can see even a potential dive here onto the Oracle. Like this guy is not long for this world.
Oh boy, he's chomping his last, having his last supper. Tank goes to trees. 4 heroes and Vega closing through, and well, look at the vision onto Solo. Sunstrike, it's going to be off point here, but Earthspirit's rolling in, looking for the kill onto the bounty hunter. He's going to get it, but Pashy just rips through him on the Ursa, and now they're going in for more. Frostbite onto MNT. He'll pop himself the false promise, try and walk himself away from this, but they continue to chase. The big ball of fire above this man's head means he is truly in trouble. And off the back of that, Vega will take a tower. 2-for-1 trade. They do lose Solo, but as you said, he did his job. He got the intel, and Vega knew exactly how much they could commit to that fight.
Yeah, you got the intel, then that resulting team fight, getting the tower, not even losing anything on the Ursa either. Like, Vega are just rolling here.
That kick as well, on point. Oh, they got the damage rate to follow through. There's a flashy play from the Spirit, but Skylark at this point, still just with the treads and the Bassi, not a lot he can do here on the Weaver.
Yeah, the thing is, and it actually sounds kind of funny, but Ad Finem are really lacking damage during the early game because of the fact that their Sven is not maxing stun. Like, this is one of the few situations where I would actually think that maxing stun might be better because your team just can't focus down a target fast enough, right? Like, you want to try to kill the OD, but he's got 1,300 health on Strength Treads and Bracer. There's going to be a mech on the Darkseer eventually. We just saw he's getting closer and closer to that. And if you try to go on anyone at this point and your Sunstrike is even a little bit off the mark or you don't have enough follow-up damage, that hero just walks away. Like, you don't really have a ton of disable either, and your Earth Spirit's not level 6. So maybe once Spartan gets that Magnetize going, they can start getting more reliable kills. But up until this point, they really are just lacking damage.
I mean, at this point, really, just the performance of Vega's cause is certainly outclassing that of Ad Finem's. They need something big to swing this one back round. They are all falling behind, and already Vega just continuing this aggression, positioning themselves around the tier 1 mid. They're not scared at all, really, of what Finem can throw at them. They've still got, of course, the Aegis on this Ursa. With the 5-man mid, they're ready to go. They've got the ult on Crystal Maiden. The wall is ready from Darkseer, and while the tracks are coming out now from Solo, and the vision's there onto Spirit. He'll turn around, get the kickoff, only about the Ursa, but they just turn towards the Oracle. They look for the free kill, and well, false promise. It's going to make them work for it, but it's going to be a kill nonetheless, and a bit of track gold going to the side, and whoa, yeah. Solo, just with a BM Shuriken there to bring him down. OT will get the kill. It's 11 for 6. It's coming up to 12 minutes in. We knew both of these teams like the early aggression, and kind of maybe as people expected, Vega, they just seem more experienced in this kind of playstyle.
Well, I think they also have better tools. Like, even though we talked about their lack of disable and how difficult it is to lock down a hero like Weaver, and granted they even got a kill on him, which I don't think should have even happened, it just doesn't much matter because the Weaver can't contribute to the team fights as heavily as, you know, an OD or an Ursa because their damage output is just not on the same level. Like, if the Ursa gets a surge...
Look at Ursa. He's just, he gets kicked back. The Shuriken bounce is coming through. Spartan's got to roll out.
The biggest difference, honestly, is the fact that when Vega go on somebody, they're gonna die, like almost 100%, even with the help of an Oracle. Like, getting a false promise cast on you is only a get-out-of-jail-free card for a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
And he's not high enough level to offset the amount of damage that you'll take during that time, so you're pretty much just delaying the inevitable. And also, the whole timing of what Vega are trying to do, like getting that first Roshan, getting all the tier 1s, it's pretty on point so far. Like, they're just rotating around the map like clockwork. The only person who's not hanging out with the rest of them was Solo, is because he was trying to get level 6. But they know they can't fight into this. Like, their Sven is not equipped to be able to, like, deal with the Ursa who has the Mask of Madness. He's only got a Dominator. And again, level 1 stun. I feel like the pacing of this particular game, the level 1 stun is just not going to do enough.
And top lane Vega, another tower here into their pockets. Finem, they just need to do something to kind of create the space, the time for this Invoker and Sven combo to really step up, and the Weaver really to be able to begin to find his first big item. You know, obviously the Sven's going to be able to farm decently with the maxed out cleave and the helm, but with the amount of pressure that Vega have been applying on these lanes, it's just a question of really whether the time's going to be there for Finem to really hit their own peak.
Well, their peak is probably 10-15 minutes from now in terms of farming.
Yeah.
Because the Sven's going to need at least one item, like SNY or BKB, and then you're also going to want to contemplate getting things like Blink so you have a decent amount of follow-up, but I don't know if he's necessarily going to get that space, because if nothing else, Vega, they know how to pressure, right? Like, we've seen the last couple of minutes what they've done. They've taken every single outer tier tower off the map, only tier 2s and 3s remaining now for Finem. It's a 14-minute game. And I think a couple of minutes ago, we saw like the net worth and experience advantage, and it was already going in favor of Vega, and now it's going to be even more so. With that, you have the addition of the blink up on the Ursa as well. So I'm kind of thinking to myself that Finem, they do have good high ground defense. Like, they have Magnetize now. Spartan hitting level 6 is a big deal for them. I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to go for like a nice defense around the tier 3. I don't know if fighting a tier 2 is worth it right now. But they did lose Aegis on Vega, so maybe they're feeling more confident in that.
At this point, okay. Finem, I was going to say they're kind of holding back, but it is going to be a smoke up from their side of the map.
I think they really need to bring the Invoker. Okay, looks like he's going to be a little bit behind.
I mean,
that's fine.
I guess they might be relying on just the Sunstrike contribution, but as you said, it feels like they need more. Ah, okay, Spartan's going to get this spell. In fact, he pops the Dusty. The Dusty's going to catch Solo, but he's on the other side of the tree line here. Nice positioning from Solo, and that, maybe inadvertently, maybe he realizes, but he stopped that gank straight in its footsteps.
Yeah, that was actually about the best thing that could have happened for Vega in that situation.
Oh, look at it, straight on Spartan. He'll kick out. He doesn't even get the chance to roll away. Sven comes through, but he gets ripped to shreds here by the Ursa. Chubby just popping the ult there to taunt them. And
he's just dancing it out, you know?
Yeah, this is Vega certainly out of control, to say the least. And Finem really struggling for ways to answer this kind of aggression that Vega are bringing. And at this point, if you're Finem, I think you're kind of thinking about changing up the game plan for the second game.
Yeah, I think they just kind of put themselves in a situation where very early in the draft, we knew that offlaners were going to be like the hero that was going to be difficult to fit your lineup with, because there were so many of them banned out, right? Like, Enchantress has been seen off lane from time to time, Lone Druid was banned, Void was banned, Broodmother was banned, Furion was banned. There weren't really too many great options, so I think the mentality of Finem was, well, we'll just get the rest of our core, and then we'll last pick our off lane and hope that it synergizes well with the lineup. The issue is the hero on paper is good against the cores of Vega because you can't really focus him. But the Weaver actually just doesn't function in the game as fast as an OD or an Ursa because they have a significant amount of damage output from a very early point. So whereas a Weaver takes time to kill, the Ursa kills you in a second. You know what I mean? You just don't have the time that's necessary in a fight to make Weaver really worthwhile. And not only that, but the split push on Ad Finem isn't really that great either, because Bounty Hunter is the one scouting out the map, you know, gathering information, spotting out where everyone is. And this is even without the use of like early blink daggers. Like sure, Pasha has one now, but he didn't have one, you know, 5-6 minutes ago when they were just constantly pressuring. So Ad Finem now just trying to bide time. If they can somehow defend high ground, you know, once or twice, get to a stage where their Ursa has BKB, I can see them turning it around. But until that point, I think that they just need to avoid confrontation at all costs, especially against a team with the bounty.
I mean, what do you think about, obviously, Solo's choice of the bounty hunter here to go for that early hood?
Well, I think when you have a Darkseer who's already buying mech, like, Pipe is the next thing, yeah. Because he realizes that one of the biggest teamfight utilities that Ad Finem have is Magnetize, and of course the Invoker damage. So like you get Meteor deafeninged, or you get a big Magnetize, you just pop the Pipe, and then all of a sudden the damage feels pretty negligible. And I mean, level 1 Magnetize against the Pipe, it like barely breaks through it. Because not only do you get the 400 absorption from the Pipe, but you get the 10% extra damage reduction from the aura as well. And on top of that, of course, you already have the mech, like we said, and it's a very solid choice when you want to just straight up pressure and end the game. Like if you want a high ground, Pipe and mech together is what you want.
Oh, Spartan. There's a smoke straight in on the boy here. They're trying to block him off so he can't roll away. And oh, nope, not going to happen today. Another track kill here for the lineup of Vega Squadron. And their lead continues. They'll move into the mid lane here. Try and find a tier 2. And again, it's going to be one of those situations where Finem can't do a lot about it. There is now a blink up on Sven. But most of these situations, even if you're a Sven with that war cry, you don't want to be jumping into this unless you find the perfect opportunity.
The perfect opportunity is, that is pretty much exactly how I would put it, because it actually has to be perfect. You need to land like a 5-man boulder smash and then, you know, Meteor deafening on everyone, unnerf the deafening blast so it actually stuns instead of just push back so they can't do anything. Oh boy, this is a really rough spot for Ad Finem.
And now OD with a BKB. This is, we've kind of, I mean, the OD's not really done much. You look at his kills, 1-0-1. He's only been involved in 2 of the 14. So whilst the action's been going on, no one's just been chilling. He's just been keeping up with the farm game. He's pretty much top of the board there, neck and neck with Pasha on the Ursa. And this, well, if they could get this kill, this would be huge with the chain stuns, and then pops the BKB. Isn't going to save you against the physical damage of the Sven. And now Sven, he's not going to get himself out. I mean, they do get themselves a kill, and it is a nice one on the OD that's been farming pretty well, but kind of because he's only 1-0-1, you're not in any big streak, so it's not as big as you could open. It looks like the casualties continue. You're going to lose 2 heroes for a double kill for Pasha on the Ursa. And it is small things for the side of Ad Finem, and they need something just ginormous at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this game has actually had quite a few execution mistakes in terms of like deaths and stuff that were unnecessary. I'm pretty sure no one could have lived there, maybe a little bit longer. Like if he imprisons himself there instead of popping BKB, there's a good chance that he would have lived, or the enemy team would have lost even more for the commitment. But solo?
Well, I found him here with the dust, and the Sunstrike will be on point. That's a nice kill. At the same time, Pasha gets himself the Aegis again on the Ursa. Blink, Axe, Mask of Madness, level 13. 10.5k net worth, clear 3,000, sorry, ahead of the Invoker, and overall the team net worth 15k lead for the side of Vega. At 20 minutes in, Sven desperately trying to farm up. There is an Atos on the Invoker. What do you think about this choice of item here?
Well, against Darkseer and a BKB on the OD, I don't think it's super good. But I think it's a value item. Like one of those situations where you say, okay, I can buy BKB, but it's not going to do anything. And I need an item that's going to give me some kind of team fight impact. So maybe he can use it on like the bounty or something. Okay, Ursa just destroying here.
Oh dear.
Yep.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Ursa thinks of his Atos.
Well, on paper, like Atos is the item that you pretty much make to try to pick people off or make them kind of contemplate walking near you because the range on the item is so big. And if you get Atos and a Cold Snap with Forge Spirits, you can pretty much just kill somebody, right? Like the combination itself is very strong. But the problem is against this particular lineup and the timing that he has the item is that they already have methods of just circumventing the on-use of the Atos completely. Like a Surge negates it 100%. And BKB on the OD means that you pretty much can never target him with the item unless he's already popped it. And by that point, you probably are dead. Because if there's a BKB at OD and you are losing by 20,000 golden experience at 20 minutes, there's a good chance you've lost some heroes at that point.
Top lane, Vega. Looking for a bit more fun. Skylark desperately trying to cut the lane in the middle. 2.4k on top of the Ogre Club that he did pick up. I wonder if he's contemplating other routes that he could go down with the item build. I mean, does he just have to buy a BKB, or do you think you could kind of YOLO it and try and go for some kind of damage?
I think he needs damage, but I think if he doesn't have a BKB and he's not careful, he could just die like instantly. That's the thing about playing against OD in particular. A couple auto attacks and a Sanity's Eclipse could just be the end of you. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be BKB the choice. Not the highest damage, but I suppose Sven is also getting close to his own BKB, sitting on around 2,800 gold right now. If he manages to get it with the blink, I think there is still some decent turn potential, because Vega don't have great save against stun. They only have save against like the Atos or a slow. So if you can focus somebody really hard, get the Sven, get a nice stun, maybe hit like 2 heroes or something and into a Magnetize, I could see them maybe winning that fight.
Oh, and here we straight in the vacuum wall onto 3. They'll try and burst this one down, but Skylar puts the BKB, able to turn around, get a kill onto OD here. Now with the Deafening Blast onto Pasha's Ursa, they could try and find a bit of turnaround. There will be a buyback from the Earth Spirit. Pasha working his way into the Sven on the sidelines, and he will find the kill. But at the same time, Vega, they lose 3. They do lose the Aegis here on Ursa. Can they kill him a second time at Finem? This would be a huge kill if they can, and it looks like Vega just overstepped the mark. Now Finem do find themselves 3 kills. It did cost them a buyback on the Earth Spirit, and they did lose 2 on top of that themselves, but every time they'll take that. Look at the exchange there. Good, clean 2k gold and 2k XP thanks to that one.
Yeah, that was really good for them. This is the part where Vega have to start like realizing we can't just YOLO high ground that hard. Like our Ursa doesn't have BKB just yet. Like he's even going for the Skull Basher after he bought the Aghanims. I think that in these scenarios, when you're trying to break high ground, having BKB and Aghanim seems like a little bit of overkill. But the reality is, you're using it to break a stun, and then the next 10 seconds you can just BKB after the fact and have like total freedom inside of the team fight, because nothing that Ad Finem has actually goes through BKB. So in that sense, I'm wondering if the Basher is not a tiny bit greedy, or maybe they should just not play as aggressive, because you have to respect Earth Spirit as a hero, especially when you're trying to go high ground. And the same thing is with Invoker, right? Because even with just max points and an Exort, he still does a tremendous amount of damage.
Absolutely. I guess that's the thing as well when you go for the Exort build, as you said. There might be that period of the game where, unlike a Quaswex, you don't have that kind of amount of team fight presence. But as you said, late game, the physical deeps are going to be there.
Yeah, that's what they're waiting for. They just need the Weaver to get like one more item. He might just go straight into Deso after finishing up the BKB. That would probably be the best item for at least sheer damage that he can get. The other choice is something like Linken's. It's a bit defensive for my liking, but there are benefits, like just having the regen, being able to stay out on the map, not having to worry about getting like insta-killed or tracked and then chased down. Stuff like that can be very useful, and not having to pop BKB charges to remove some spells. But yeah, if they can hold, you know, a couple more times, I could very easily see them bringing this back.
As we can see, Vega once again, they're gravitating towards that top lane. I'm sure we'll see them be a little bit more conservative about how they try and break the high ground, as opposed to last time. They managed to do about 50% of the damage here to the tier 3, but again, they did pay quite heavily for it.
Well, they'll probably just try to starve out the map as much as they can, make Ad Finem stay close to their base, go for the next Roshan, maybe not go for the crazy dives again. Get Ursa his Aegis one more time. Maybe even give it to the OD, honestly. I feel like Ursa has a much easier time living through the team fights than the Ursa would. And granted, Ursa was inside of their base, and he still lived longer than the OD the first death.
So they've got a medallion on the Weaver, so it's obviously coming out pretty late, but at least something else to add to the right clicks as they do come through. But a Talisman as well. A bit of a funky build here from the Weaver. All over the place.
He might be going into Halberd. Halberd is actually very good against their team. The Ursa doesn't have BKB, and he might not be buying one. So what you can do is you can just always wait out the Enrage. Oh, he's buying a Solar Crest. Okay. Yeah, it's the same idea, though. Like, against the hero that doesn't have BKB, you can just pop it on somebody, give him that extra defense, so when they go on, like, the Sven or they go on the Invoker, you can just give him that extra survivability. And then you can also put it on the Ursa for just a miss chance. So no matter who he wants to go on, it's going to be a little bit harder. But yeah, the idea is pretty much the same.
Yeah. Get that Solar Crest down.
Yeah. It really depends. Like, a Halberd is obviously better in the sense that you won't be able to take damage during the duration of the Halberd, but the uptime on the Solar Crest is much higher. It's a lower cost investment. And I also feel like it actually has maybe a bit more use than a Halberd in this situation.
Skylark is able to take the tower there under the nose of the Darkseer. Tries to chase down the boy, but he's got the Glimmer Cape. And in fact, turning around in a bit of a battle of the Invis here. Yolo Baggins trying to play here with the Weaver, and he's going to go for the TP out. Can Sherman get himself over in time? No. Didn't have the blink, but Weaver was able to juke it out.
I just actually haven't seen a Solar Crest in so long that I kind of forgot the item actually existed.
That's true. We had that period where it dazzles Solar Crest every game, and then it kind of fell out of favor.
Yeah, as soon as they nerfed it against BKB, everyone was like, all right, this item sucks. And then they just stopped buying it. Which I kind of agree to a certain extent, because if you think about it, the cost of the item is roughly like, what, 900 less than a BKB? So in the time that it takes you to farm the item, you could reasonably assume that someone else who has like farm priority is going to get a BKB at like the same time, or maybe like a couple of minutes later, like 2 or 3. So your window for usefulness on that item is typically very small. But in this scenario, I think it's actually pretty decent. Going to be scouting out the Roshan pit here. It is going to be, well, we don't know just
we still
yet.
don't know yet, yeah. It's just around really the corner. When the time is going to be revealed. If they can find a pick-off before it, though. This would be pretty huge for the side here, and we've got to have Sven moving in to find Solo, straight in with the Sunstrike, looking to burst him down, they will. They're going to kill the Bounty Hunter now. Well, Sven blinks to the side, gets off the BKB now with the ultimate, now they're trying to look for the chase down. Storm having to hold back the Ursa, and they're focusing the OD on the right. He's popped his own BKB, Astrals himself around Shoma from the high ground here with the ultimate. Pretty huge, but the silence comes through, and now Invocable! Oh! The big vacuum dodges the wall, but no, Scarlet gets pushed down. He's going to be fine. Time lapses out of this one. They do lose the Sven. Now the Ursa just looking to clean up, rips through Spartan on the Earth Spirit. Now leave the Scarlet. The Astral to set this one up as Vega get themselves in position. They'll move in onto the Oracle, who's desperately trying to save the Weaver, and he will do so. Pays with his own life. Scarlet will be able to escape along with the Invoker. But still a 3-for-1 trade there, so even though Finem looked to have some sort of initiation, Vega were quite eagerly and quickly there to just push them back into their place and take the 3-1 trade.
Yeah, it's still, you know, Finem are trying to buy time. Like, what they wanted to do was just get posturing for Roshan. Is that Ghostwalk going to be used here? It's like he's going to be just fine. But the idea behind the fight that they wanted to take was just, we know that if Vega get another Aegis on their Ursa, it's going to be really hard for us to do anything about it. So after the Roshan dies, it becomes a much harder fight for Finem to win. I think even with the use of high ground, Vega have learned from their mistakes, and they're not really going to try to go for like the crazy dive again. And then they'll just go for a slow siege, get the tower back, you know, keep pressuring. And that's a situation that Finem just don't want to risk. So they go for a smoke fight.
Invoker has been spotted out, but well, they're going to turn it around onto Solar. The silence comes through for Spartan, and a beautiful play there. They'll take the kill on the Bounty. And now Vega, they still want to try and fight. Just a vacuum onto Spartan, turns around with a stun, Sunstrike, straight onto the Darkseer. He's got to connect, and now with the silence, they'll slow him down and stop him up. He's got the Greaves. They'll put them back off. The rest of Vega's still there, and the Ursa just TP's out straight in front of them. So if they can chase this, Stormhammer coming out, catching out Shoma on the Crystal Maiden. He's a bit of a tanky brute now, this CM. He did get fairly fat in the early stages of the game. He's going to try and turn around with the ult, but, well, with the BKB on Sven, he doesn't care about the attack, so he beats down onto the Crystal Maiden. And Finem do take themselves the fight here. They're still trying to chase. I don't know if they'll be able to catch out the OD as no one looks to escape, and this is good timing. Still a bit of time left on the God Strength. The Roshan is back up, and Ursa's going to be a bit peeved off if the side of Finem are able to take this away from the noses of Vega, and Vega are still moving forward. They don't have a Crystal Maiden. Can they try and stop Finem from doing this one? But no, it's already down as Sven. He's going to be able to get himself the Aegis. Now the OD coming in with the BKB, looking for the Scarlet! Time-lapse out just in time. They have popped the Aegis already onto Sven, and Sven, he doesn't have a BKB again. He's going to go down here. Skylark. He's got the Shikuchi. Looks like the detection isn't quite there, but now the track comes out. They've found the Weaver. They'll take him down as well. I mean, on the plus side for Finem, they do stop Vega from taking the Aegis, but unfortunately for them, they do take a bad fight still off the back of it, losing 2 of their cores.
I think the Sven made a crucial mistake in using BKB when he was chasing the CM. Like, it's hard to say before you're actually going for Roshan that you're going to need your BKB, but the biggest problem is because he committed that. So we saw Spartan just go splat there, but because he committed his BKB for going for the CM, it means that he didn't have it up for the Roshan fight. At the very least, he could have died once, BKB'd, and then TP'd out. And maybe, you know, he would have lived. Maybe he gets bashed by the Ursa, maybe he doesn't, but that's a risk that you can take. But now...
Oh, the Core Invoker here outside of the base. He's got the Ghost Walk. They dropped the Sanities. It's not going to be enough to bring him down, but now with the track and Ursa sliding through. False Promise is going to keep the Invoker alive for the time being. He's going to try and run himself out to the high ground, but Shelman's coming through as well. RMN in there with the BKB. Sorry to F your RMN. In fact, there's no one on the OG this game. There's 2 buybacks coming out from the side of Finem. They're looking to try and hold on in this fight. Sven coming in with the God Strength. Stormhammer onto the OG, but Ursa is just there, starting to rip through this Sven. He's got to run. He's got to hide. He's going to go down. He does have buyback available. It's already a triple kill here for the Ursa. Double kill for OD. Scarlet's been trapped up. He's got the time lapse here. But Vega, they'll look to corner him. Astral to set this one up, and hello to a world of pain. Another track kill for the boys in blue. Ultra kill here for Ursa. The game is over. GG well played is called. Vega take it 33-14. Finem trying to do their best to hold on, but they just never could get themselves back on top of Vega that game.
They just needed more damage. I mean, it sounds weird that a team with an Exort Invoker is kind of lacking DPS, but the biggest issue that we really had was during the early game, the Invoker was never really committing to the team fights. He was only throwing out Sunstrakes. So you're relying on the Oracle, the Sven, Earth Spirit, Weaver for damage. Weaver, we've talked about at length, you know, multiple games we've seen him. His timing is kind of, for the first 6 or 7 levels, he does well, and he can fight. You know, he can TP counter gang, stuff like that. But after that, for like 10 to 15 minutes, he's just a range creep who's really fast and annoying. Like he just doesn't really do that much damage. So in that time, Vega are like, all right, we're gonna pressure nonstop. We're gonna get Roshan. We're gonna keep fighting until we've accumulated so much extra money from things like track that you just can't keep up. And that's pretty much how it went. So even though they kind of messed up one high ground push, it wasn't enough to bring Finem back into the game.
Absolutely. And I think going into this, a lot of people would have tipped Vega obviously to be the stronger side. I think Finem, they certainly show kind of glimpses of hope. They've got to switch it up in game 2. Maybe even take away the Ursa from Vega. Do you think Pash's Ursa's a little bit too good at this kind of, this level of gameplay?
It's a comfort zone thing for them. Yeah. So I think that if they have Dire, maybe think about banning it in like second phase or something. I think it would be worth it.
And also in terms of the drafts as well, they banned out all the offlaners. Mag still got his Darkseid. I don't think they cared that they banned all the others. It's hard to prioritize because Mag, he's a beast on all those heroes.
Yeah, there's so many heroes you have to ban. So maybe in the next draft we won't see like 6 offlane bans in a row. I think that is probably going to be different.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see very, very shortly. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a quick ad break and then back to the panel. And then we'll be back with Game 2 between Vega and Finem.